resume recording, and then I want to admit them. Letting everybody come in here for a second. So welcome. My name is Robbie Moore. I'm the certification manager with WBENC ORV. I'm sure you've seen my name on an email or part of your application at some point. On the call for the Maximizing Your WB Certification, our facilitator is Kathy Stafford. And a little bit about Kathy here, if I can get my screen to cooperate with me and my dog doesn't start barking. I knew it was going to happen. I'm sorry. So Kathy is an award-winning business owner. She has received multiple awards for her advocacy for a women's business owner, including one in the Kentucky District Office of the United States Small Business Administration. She is passionate about helping other business owners succeed in mentoring students. Started her business in her own laundry room with only $1,000. Now it's a multi-million-dollar company. She credits WBENC ORV through WBENC as the first big step in laying the foundation for to succeed. While active in her community and church, her favorite things to do in her time away from work is spend time with her sons. They frequent the ocean and concerts, and I know she is also a Tyler Childers fan because we have discussed it many times. So without further ado, Kathy Stafford.
Good morning, and thank you all for taking the time to hop on this webinar. And I think it's a really great thing, and it says something about you and your desire to push the ball down the road and to grow your business and your knowledge. And good for you for taking the time to do it and invest in yourself. And I'm very happy to present to you today. And I'm going to would like to reiterate what Robbie said. It has been, certification has been one of the most important things I did in starting my company. And certification didn't get me business just because I had it, but it gave me a tool in my hand to operate with, to go for it. And I've just learned so much from being certified. And as we go through our slide presentation today, we're going to talk more about opportunities for you to be able to grow through to maximize your certification. So just a little bit of this is a slide of what we're going to cover: some foundational knowledge on our organizational background, value props, supplier diversity advantages, role of supplier diversity professionals, and then, as you can see, maximizing your certification, the benefits of our certification, incorporating SEAL in your brand, prospecting in the WBENC community, participating in your RPO, which is Regional Partnering Organization, and engaging in WBENC National. Okay, so for some foundational knowledge. Okay, here's a little bit about WBENC. So it is, a national organization with 14 RPOs to administer world-class certification. As I said, it is national. There are over 20,000 certified women business enterprise, WBEs, nationally, and we have 550 plus corporate members nationally. So I think the next screen might say that, but you all, that's a wealth of, that's an amazing network. I hate to, it's corny, they always say your net worth is related to your network. And I have found that to be really true in my, as a business owner. Lenise Smith, she's our president and CEO. And if you haven't met her, I certainly hope you will show up at a conference or participate in something where she is, because she is absolutely amazing. I have been certified. I'm the longest active certified WBE in the state of Kentucky. And so I've been through a lot of different, I've been through all the leadership since our RPO started. And Lanice is a phenomenal asset and advocate for us. She's an it's a little bit here about us. WBENC, Women's Business Enterprise Council, Ohio River Valley. That's us. You can see the 3 states, Kentucky, Ohio, and West Virginia. Is an organization for women business owners interested in promoting, developing, and maintaining business relationships with other women business owners, major corporations, and governmental agencies. Our charge at WBEC or WBENC, WBEC RV, is to certify women-owned businesses and promote the activities directed at the development, expansion, and encouragement of businesses owned by women. WBEC ORV provides WBENC certification to women-owned companies in Ohio, Kentucky, and West Virginia. It's one of 14 regional partnering organizations authorized to administer this world-class certification across the United States. Our RPO was established in 2009 with 7 corporate members and 348 certified WBEs. Today, we have over 1,100 certified WBEs and nearly 100 corporate members. That is phenomenal. So our core platform, our vision is to be the premier resource for women-owned business development. We work to accomplish this by focusing on our core platform: certification, opportunities, resources, and engagement. And I'm going to just take a pause for a second to tell you, I've been involved in many other organizations. I just hit the brief thing there, and I have never been on the national level, president of other women's business organizations, and I have never been involved in anything that is so business owner growth, that is so focused on me and you all. And that is really, it's incredible. We're very intentional about that. So certification, WBENC certification validates that a business is at least 51% owned, controlled, operated, and managed by a woman or women. It can be 2 or 3 or 4 women that make up the 51%. And opportunities. We provide best-in-class programs, events, and networking opportunities for women-owned businesses, supplier diversity experts, government and corporate procurement professionals, and other industry and thought leaders. So that orange box there is so true. I have had the opportunity, by going to participating in events, by showing up, networking, to have access to people I had tried for a long time or could in no other way have an opportunity to get to them. So it's been a wonderful connector for me. And resources. Our goal is to ensure that women business owners have access to the education, support, and tools they need to grow and succeed. And we partner with our constituents to establish a set of common goals. We foster healthy engagement through advisory councils, ambassador programs, and I'm going to say, very robust recognition and awards program. And I will say, can we go back to the next one before we get focused on this one, value prop? I will tell you all, just a year and a half ago, just because I'm a certified WBE through WBENC, so the opportunity came our way to apply to participate in an energy executive summit in Houston, Texas, and that was sponsored by Chevron, Exxon, Shell, and BP. And I had the opportunity to spend 3 days in Houston with my cohort and just have one-on-one time with these major corporations. And I was one of, I think they selected 30 women business owners throughout the United States. And that was amazing. So that was another, just, I could tell you all story after story after story, but that was one of the most recent ones that I really enjoyed, and it was very valuable to me. Okay, sorry, Robbie. Thanks. If you could go to the next one, please. Okay, so the value proposition. Federal mandate for companies doing business with the federal government is to procure 5% of goods and services from women and minorities. And you all likely know that the largest purchaser of goods and services in the whole world is the United States federal government. So there is that 5% set aside. There are corporations that set up supplier diversity programs in response to that. And they have to report their spend, whether it's government, whether the corporates are requiring that as just a corporate responsibility. So there's a great opportunity there. The business model evolved as corporations purchased goods and services from women to women make up 80% of the consumer decisions and influence the other 20%. Many corporations, government entities, and nonprofit organizations, universities, and hospitals have established inclusion goals. We've come a long, long way. When I started my business, ladies, I've been in the industry 35 years. I started this business over 20 years ago when I became a single mom. And when I started this business, I didn't use a loan. I just started $1,000 and I just grew my company incrementally. I didn't want any debt. But when I started it, you had to have a co-signer at the time if you wanted to take out a business loan. Today, we don't have to. So in a lot of areas. Thanks, Robbie. Next. Okay, the supplier diversity advantage. As a WBE, you have an advocate in supplier diversity professionals. Corporations can make exceptions for certified WBEs, so they can create vendor opportunities in closed community categories. They can carve off a piece of a major contract for a qualified WBE. They offer mentor protege programs, and they establish vendor financing mechanisms. As WBENC and the network of certified WBEs grow, the number of corporations with supplier diversity programs that include women will grow as well. Next, yep, okay. So just to understand a little bit about the supplier diversity professionals role, because as you get involved and you start meeting that person, these are great things to understand when you're figuring out how to navigate my way through the system. So they are an advocate between their company and certified women and minority-owned businesses. And they provide relevant information about the vendor registration process, which if you have attempted that, there are times it can be very cumbersome. They will oftentimes supply you with the buyer contact information, purchasing timelines, purchasing processes, etc. You will often get an invitation-only corporate event for diverse suppliers. So you have that opportunity to get out there in front of them. And oftentimes when you are performing, because it's one thing to get a contract, it's another thing to maintain it, finance it, and really just do an excellent job to prove that you're really good at what you do. So when that happens, they will refer you to other corporations, and I just had that happen recently, that need your product or your service that you provide. Now, these are important points to remember, that they do not make the sourcing decisions. Know this, that their knowledge, they know their business and their market prior to reaching out for you. So if I'm going to, let's say I'm going to contact, I don't know, we'll throw a name. If I'm going to contact Toyota, let's just use them. I want to know what they do. I want to know where they do it. I want to know where their offices are. I go in and I read about the company. I read about their product. I read about who's doing what. I like to read things about what they're doing in the community. And so when I'm usually, it's on my radar anyway. But so when I'm having that discussion, we can have a common point of being able to connect. So do your homework on that one, and make sure you register as a vendor in their supplier portal prior to engagement, because it's the first thing they're going to ask. I learned that the hard way. And then establish a relationship to gain advocacy, and be pleasantly persistent. Follow up is critical. So, I always like to call them soft touches, where I will reach out and just not hammer them, but I make sure that my name stays in front of them in some way, shape, or form. And I think this is really, really important. And people our supplier diversity professionals, they're savvy. I'm confident you all are savvy. You're on here. And so I would encourage you to stay away from, well, what can you do for me mentality, but focus on their needs, and then how your and then you come up with solutions, how your product or services meet their needs or solves a problem for them. Do we have any questions at this point?
There's
No?
nothing in the chat right now, but if people have questions, feel free to add them to the chat and we can always circle back to them.
Absolutely.
But
Okay, so maximizing your certification, part 2. Okay, benefits of WBE certification. Some of this might sound redundant, but I think it's just important to see, know, hear, but there's some great information in here. So you have access to supplier diversity and procurement executives at hundreds of major U.S. corporations and federal, state, and local government entities that accept WBENC certification just by being certified. You have formal and informal opportunities to pursue business with corporate and government members, as well as other WBENC certified WBEs. And don't ever underestimate or overlook the opportunity to do that B2B when you're looking for the big fish out there. Don't forget there are other people around that you can do business with, or if you're connecting with them. I know this, just that I connect with so many people, and I save cards of people that do. I'll have people ask me, do you know somebody that can do X, Y, or Z? And I save that, your card or information, when I meet you, and I pass that information along just personally as a business owner. You're going to have access to networking events and programs, procurement opportunities, mentoring, executive education, capacity development programs, and other business tools and resources, which something that would be similar to that would be, I mean, we have many, many, but I just think about the summit that I went to in Houston. You have eligibility for regional and national awards and recognition, and because service is just in my DNA. And I think that no, just the overflow of that, just wanting to serve, enjoying serving, seeing how things work. For example, with WeBank, what I do now, what I'm doing, I sit on our board of directors. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that or not, but I do. But it's been really special to me. Not that I have to have the pat on the back, but to get recognition. And I've been shocked every time I've gotten it. And, if it, I think it was the national meeting I went to last year, I got an award or early this year. I don't know. It's all been a blur. I was very surprised. And that is something that, I mean, being recognized and being called up to the stage and having all of those people in the room that mean something to me, that I know that I can help or that can help me, it gave me something that it's not, I could never earn that in taking out an ad or sponsorship or anything. So just being involved is really important, and being involved and then getting recognized is even better. So anyway, use of the women-owned logo and women's business enterprise seal as a marketing tool to promote your business and expand your company's visibility. I will tell you, when I was first certified, I did a press release. I wrote one and I used the seal on it. And that's because I thought it is a pretty big deal. And I put that logo on, I mean, anything you can think of. It's on my website, my business cards, it's in my signature on my email. And people recognize it and know it. And now I'm recognizing it. Saw something in a maybe Whole Foods that on an end cap it showed there was a product there, and it said that it was a woman-owned business and it had the WBENC seal on it. And I was like, oh, that is really cool. So there's great respect, and I think it carries a lot of clout to have that seal. To me, it's like that, that gold seal of approval, because our process is, we're very thorough in vetting out WBEs. So when one makes an application, additionally, you will have a community of support from other female business owners and like-minded professionals, all dedicated to the growth and success of women businesses. And that is true. You can hear other people say it, but I'll say this. Our RPO really puts their feet to that we put feet to those words. Okay. So the WBE seal. So show off your status as a WBENC certified women's business enterprise, WBE, using the WBE seal. So you'll see it here right underneath here. And it's great to put that on your proposals. And as I said, business cards, website, and other to be collateral. This seal is most widely recognized among procurement and supplier diversity professionals. It is the most recognized. So let the public know you're a woman-owned business with the official woman-owned logo. And it's available only for WBENC or WeConnect International Certified WBEs. And so for best consumer-facing materials, including product packaging, labeling, marketing collateral, websites, and other digital marketing, this logo is designed to be easily recognizable to consumers to help influence buying behaviors. And I will say, yeah, that does work. It works for me because I always, if it's on something, that's the product. If I have the opportunity to buy A, B, or C, or do business with someone A, B, or C, I am going to look for the certified woman-owned business to support her or them. Thank you, Robbie. Okay, prospecting in the WBENC community. Okay, so we have WBENC Link 2.0, and it's a great marketing tool, and it is just a wealth of information for you to glean from, to use, and I encourage you to use it. And it helps you identify corporate and supplier diversity contacts nationally. And it also helps you identify WBEs across the country for potential partnerships and business opportunities. And when you are getting certified and you are certified, make sure your profile is complete with your NAICS codes, keywords, annual revenue, if you choose to reveal that, number of employees, etc., and update your profile each year during recertification. Okay, so I just saw something pop up about where do you find the logo, and it is on the WeBank Link 2.0. Was that the complete question? I have to.
So I can maybe help with this one a little bit. If you're on WeBank Link, you'll see a Tools tab. And under Tools, you'll see Branding and Media. And you click on that and it brings up all the options along with the guidelines that you have to follow with using, not changing the size of anything, but it's you go to your WeBank Link dashboard and then there's a Tools tab and that should drop down to show Branding and Media, and that'll bring up all those logos and sales.
Thank you, Robbie. Okay. We have the next slide. Okay, prospecting in the WeBank community. We strongly suggest you download corporate contacts in the WeBank Link 2.0. Check RPO websites for regional corporate members. So go to the website of ours and you will see our corporate members. Build your prospecting lists. Check websites for inclusion goals and or diversity initiatives, and complete targeted companies vendor supplier profile, which we mentioned earlier, and I can't stress that enough. Go on in there and get your name in the system. And then you can also identify with companies that have a tier 2 program. So, the tier 1 is the direct supply, and tier 2 is you're supplying to the direct supplier to that corporate. And consider opportunities to do business or partner with WBEs, which I mentioned earlier, and then participate in local, regional, and national inclusion events. Those are not only have they been very enriching for me in growing my business, but they've also helped grow me personally and relationally. And sometimes, being a business owner, period, can be, I'm a sole proprietor, but it can be lonely at the top. And it's really, really nice to have other people to connect with, to commiserate with, and I have some friends that I've made that, we sound things off of each other a lot that I have met through being a WeBank member, and some just that I've met at conferences that don't even live in my area, that are not even in our RPO. So take advantage. Okay, so prospecting in the WeBank community. Do your homework. Okay, what's the level of commitment to supplier diversity and inclusion? Full-time dedicated supplier diversity staff, do they have that? Is there a process for suppliers to register as vendors online? Do they have a supplier diversity statement or goals on their websites? Do they hold supplier diversity events? What's the overall company's culture and values? Those are things to really consider when you are looking at who you would like to approach. And I'm sure you all are doing that now already, but very, very good things to think about and remember. Okay, again, prospecting in the WeBank community. Ask questions. Once you've shown them that you've done your homework, ask about the procurement processes. For example, is it centralized or decentralized? Ask basis of decision for your product or service. Cost might not be the priority. It might not be just the cheapest. There are a lot of different, sometimes proximity, sometimes, it's best value. There are many, many scenarios that they're looking at when they're scoring RFPs or looking at vendors. And ask for name and contact information of the buyers for your commodity, not just buyers, period, but for your specific commodity. Try to get yourself to the right person. And ask if there's an upcoming bid opportunity in your commodity. And one of the things I do is I keep it on my calendar. I know, like, if there's a contract a company I want to work with, a contract I'm very interested in, I keep it on my calendar, and months ahead of time, I start asking, because sometimes it's a closed bid process, sometimes it's an open bid process, but I start asking, when that contract is coming up for renewal. And um, if it's a government entity, one of the things I always do is I go in, and you can do an open records request here in the state of Kentucky. I know in Ohio, I've done that before. And you can look at the current contract, you can look at how they bid it, and you can look at, sometimes I always request not just the contracts, but the bid tabulations. I look at where and how they're scoring on things. And I also like to see where I landed, to see if price was the issue, proximity, size of my company. I want to make sure that when I bid something, that I have everything I need in place to support it, should I be awarded the contract. Okay, ask questions. Once you've shown them that you've done your homework, ask about the procurement processes. Is it is it centralized or decentralized? I think we just covered this. Ask basis of decision for your product or service. Yeah, I think we just did this. Okay. Okay. So then participate in your regional partnering or organization, or RPO. Catch the Wave regional conferences. We have our annual event hosted by WBENC ORV. There are over 500 attendees. There are regional networking focuses where they might be coming to your city or a city near you. There are corporate and WBE workshops. Participate in them. They have Meet the Buyer events. There's a pitch breakfast and award recognition when you go to Catch the Wave. So those are all really, really fun to be a part of. Amplify. Okay, so empower forward. So on August 26th through the 28th at the Hilton Cincinnati Netherland Plaza is our Catch the Wave event, and it is called Amplify this year. And there's a QR code on here. You can go to our website and register to get registered, and I would strongly encourage you to attend and participate. Robbie, is there anything else that you would like to say about Amplify?
It's an amazing opportunity to get to know the network. I think we've had over 350 people the past 2 years that have been in person. So if you're looking to see who's in the network, get to know the ladies and the procurement executive, it's an amazing way to get a lot of them in one sitting. So
Yes.
that, and also we do have sponsorship opportunities available. If you're interested, let me know, or I should be reachable on that QR link. That's open until Friday. I think they extended it. That's what I got.
Thank you. Next slide. What do we have here? Okay, participate in your RPO. So we have our signature events, the WBE to WBE, Catch the Wave, corporate best practices, women of color with WBENC, our annual meeting. We have virtual town halls, and then we have other regional events that are doing business with webinars, industry specific events, corporate member supplier diversity events across the region. And we have monthly webinars, one of which you are participating in. We have the monthly WBE onboarding webinar. We have our maximizing your certification annual Catch the Wave prep webinar. and the monthly WBENC 2.0 webinars. Okay, RPO engagement. Now this list is not all inclusive, but it's just something, it's good for you to see. So there is a WBENC star that's selected through the RPO. There's a Trailblazer Award recipient, which those are always one of my favorites to see. They're just amazing to hear from women. A couple of years ago here in Lexington, we had someone that, I mean, literally started from nothing, and she grew that business, and she's kind of retiring and passed it off to her family, passing it on to her children. But man, was she ever a wealth of knowledge and wisdom. WBENC forum representatives selected by your RPO. There's the Tuck WBENC Executive Program, and you're nominated through the RPO. And then there's the Goldman Sachs Small Business Program at Babson College RPO nominee. So WBENC ORV Forum Leadership in 2024. Our forum representatives offer programming from a national lens. Our forum leaders share with our RPO relevant, in-depth business strategies to enhance the growth of your business. And learn from our WBENC representatives as they educate WBEs on the impact of our national committees have on the local level. Okay, so support national engagement, WBENC. The National Conference and Business Fair. It's an annual event, premier WBE exhibitor opportunity. So you have an opportunity to have a booth there. There are over 350 exhibitors, more than 4,500 WBEs, corporate and government attendees. There's national networking, and it occurs in June each year. The WBENC Forum, expand your network. Forum open to all certified WBEs. Forum leadership opportunities and appointments are available. WBE to WBE connections you get through the forum, learning opportunities, collaboration, and partnering. Okay, so I'd like for you to meet the team. I talked a little bit about, we have Lenise Smith, who has been absolutely amazing. She is our president and CEO and an amazing leader. Is Dr. K still, Robbie, is Dr. K still here?
Yeah, she's full-time.
She's full-time
everything
now.
now.
Okay, there
Yep.
is. Okay, so yeah, we just call her Dr. K. It's much easier, and she's the director of administration and programming. We have Colleen Rudisil, who has been with us for multiple years, and she is the director of certification and outreach. We have Stephen Easley, who is our fractional CMO. Angela Roof, who is our certification specialist, and then Robert Moore, which is Robbie, who's on the call with us today. He manages our certification, does an outstanding job, and then we have Byron Stallworth, who handles corporate relations and is a consultant with us. So that is our leadership team. Okay. I know I kind of ran through the slides, gave you a little bit of my perspective, but I would be, well, first of all, make note if you would like to of the phone number of the website here, but I'd like to open the floor up now to see if there are any additional questions, any personal questions you want to ask, any questions or about personal about, my experience or anything about WBENC in general And Robbie and I are both available to answer those for you.
Yeah, you can either come off mute. I think I saw someone coming off mute there, or you can put it in the chat, whichever you
That
prefer.
was, that was me, Robbie, Shonda Lewis. And
Hey,
and Ursula, my business partner, is on the call too. And I just had a question in regards to, we got certified and we're just lost. Like, is there anyone that we can meet with that can help us walk through step by step what we need? Like, I mean, it was like when we signed up, it seemed like it was like, okay, you'll have all this help. And we've been signed up for maybe 4 months and we're just not, we just don't know what to do.
yeah, where are you all located at? Like where physically?
Columbus, Ohio.
Okay, let me do a little research, see if I can find someone that's like local to the area that you can maybe meet for coffee or something that you can talk about how to get involved and kind of next steps outside of getting certified. Make sure you're uploading it to potential clients' portals if they have it, so they know that you're WB certified. Follow us on LinkedIn, all that, so you can, and our newsletter, so you make sure you see what we've got going on, so that you're coming to the events or webinars or whatever, so you can make sure you get your education. You can also go to WBENC's website, webank.org, WBENC.org, and there you got programs, and you have access to all of those programs as well. That it's just educational and it's amazing information. I know part of it's like Goldman Sachs 10K small business. We have a lift program, we have a pitch program, like so many different things that can help grow your business and help you educationally. Like it's just to check out those programs. But if you want to send me an email, and maybe I can try to connect you with somebody in Columbus where you can meet and kind of be like I don't want to say mentor, but someone that can kind of talk about the network and how to get the most out of your certification.
Okay, I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you, Robbie.
No problem.
That's a great question. And I would just add to that, just what we have, it does seem like a lot to navigate, but what we've talked about today is, making just like, getting on that WeBank link, getting your information up there, getting all of the seals on everything you can, getting, just like to reiterate what Robbie said, making sure, because you also have an official certificate that you will upload to websites. And then the quickest thing, in addition to connecting to someone locally, is look for something that's in your area or not even in your area to get started, to get a little traction, to start connecting with people. But Robbie, I think you're spot on.
I have a question too, if I may.
Yeah.
My name's Melinda Jenkins. I've owned my own paint company for about 22 years. And much like a lot of these other women, I started from absolutely nothing. My first ladder was a 5-gallon bucket that I stood on. And I contract with UPS now for the past 12 years, but they don't seem interested in using my certification. And I've been to some of the webinars and stuff like that here locally, and a lot of people didn't seem interested in talking with me, or it never led to anything. I just really felt out of place. So I let my certification like lapse and stuff like that. But I recently got recertified this year. I just would like to know, I guess like the other question, just I feel lost and I just have it in my pocket just in case, but it really hasn't done much for me.
Yeah, so I'll hit on that, and I think Kathy will probably give you a different side of it as well, since she is a business owner herself. On the WBENC side, you would be surprised on how many corporates they might not ask for it, but if they know it's in the system, they know they don't have to ask for it, because UPS is a major WeBank member. They're a national corporate member, like they're all in. They participate at the national conference and everything. So make sure you're in their portal. They may not be asking for it because they already know you're submitting it. or they may have seen you submit it in the past, so they're not going to ask you every year. They assume you're submitting it. Because I had someone tell me once, I had a business owner, she goes, I don't know who's requiring it, but I don't want to find out because she's afraid of if she let it lapse, the people that she would lose. And I remember that very vividly because she's like, I can tell you, who's recognized and who doesn't, but I don't want to find out who does and who doesn't, so I don't let it lapse because she didn't want to lose potential business. So you'd be surprised on the corporates that you're maybe already uploading it or already have been a vendor for them. They're not asking you for it because they don't want to pester you every single year. They know that in their system you're a WBE. But as for getting to know more people in the network, I'm gonna let Kathy touch on that because she's gonna give you a firsthand experience on what works or what worked for her, I should say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I will say that it has taken some time. I mean, some of the things just were instant. It was crazy. But with some of the larger corporates, it has taken time to continue to make those soft touches, continue to connect, and just continue to be where they're going to be. If they are sponsoring an event, go. I mean, speaking of UPS, when I was president of another organization, it wasn't a certifying agency, but when I was president of another organization, a women's organization, we went to their World Sort facility in Louisville, Kentucky, and they had an opportunity they call their packages their special guests, and they presented an opportunity to go, but you had to go and see like their the planes would take off, come, go. You could see them sort, but it was like late. You'd be there at 11 and you didn't finish till 3 in the morning. And not a lot of people were willing to do that. That's a little extreme. You don't always have to do that. But I signed up to do it. I was surprised how few were there. And I got to go up in a 747. I can't remember what it was. And go up and see how they do it all. But I really they had a little orientation. I got to connect with people. So make sure you're seizing every opportunity you're aware of to get in front of them.
Well, actually, I've been a vendor with them for 12 years and they do use us on a regular basis, but, and I have access like to drive on Worldport here in Louisville, Kentucky, like my vehicle stuff. And, but there's only 1 or 2 people that use us, and it generates about $200,000 a year, but I've yet to be invited to bid on any of their big jobs. So I know I have my foot in the door, so to speak, but I guess I just need to start looking around myself because like I said, I have access. I can go anywhere on site. My badge lets me in every single door there is at UPS. But like I said, they've just yet to use me with my certification for big projects. I get looked over.
Well, and I would be finding out. I don't know if you're even bidding them or not, but I would certainly be finding out who is over the larger projects and certainly try to get in front of them. Congratulations, by the way, on getting in. That's great.
I appreciate that. They don't really use us for painting. They just, like I said, there's 1 or 2 people that use us for like cleaning and repairing stuff. So we're on site almost every day, but I'm just trying to figure out how to get to the bigger people where I can, bid those big jobs, the ones that my certification would come into play.
Yeah, I would simply ask the person that you're dealing with that knows your good work and knows you.
Okay.
Yeah, they may not know that you're ready to do those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always try to humbly, and I'm sure you do too. I just am like, I need help, and I was going to see if you might be able to help me. That's my approach.
Okay.
And people really, I like that approach personally from people. So that's one of my favorite opening lines because I do need help. It's true. And so anyway.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. I got on boarded with UPS prior to having a woman-based business certification, but I thought once I got it, that things would really take off, and it just hasn't.
Well, it's
So-
you connecting. It's generally you connecting the dots.
Yep. All right. Well, I appreciate the input on all that. I'm gonna mute myself back out. Thank you.
Any other questions from anybody? I don't see anything else, no one coming off mute. So I'll just say, I'll wrap up here. Thank you all so much for taking your time today to listen to us and hear more about what you have access to and the opportunities that are out there. Feel free to send us an email if you have any questions that come up later, or you didn't want to come off mute or didn't want to ask. Feel free to shoot us an email. Be happy to either answer it or get an answer for you. And my email, I'll put it in the chat. It's rmore1@webec.org. If you don't catch that, it's on our website under the staff. You can see my email there, as well as any other staff member that you're trying to get a hold of. But thank you all so much for joining us today. And Kathy, thank you so much for facilitating.
Well, thank you for asking, and thank you all for being on here. I wish you well, and I'm hoping to see you at a conference. If you're at the conference this summer, if you see this face, come introduce yourself. I'd love to meet you.